As the sun rises in the east to start and adorn the day, so rises the continuing coverage of your 2024 SINAG Liga Asya Junior World Showcase Philippines. Happy Independence Day po mga kasinag, and we are live here inside the SM Events Hall in the third level of SM SOUTHMALL, Las Piñas City for the first game of this Wednesday triple header dito, a 23 and under quarterfinals. As we can see, Parley Dimla, the pride of San Simon, Pampanga, trying to stay alive in this tournament. A win here could give them a huge chance to qualify sa quarterfinals too, but standing in their way, Kenny Flores and the rest of the San Pedro Mamba ex Mr. P Rentals Company trying to live to fight another game because it's a do-or-die situation na for the representatives of the South dito sa ating 23 under tournament. Big deal, big game on Independence Day para dito sa SINAG Liga Asya, and those are our games for today. LUID 1 KAPAMPANGAN kontra San Pedro Mamba ex Mr. P Rentals Company. Second game natin, Pampanga Delta Pradera Team Park kontra Baliwag Stars, and for our main game, it's gonna be the J Project Clothing Saints kontra the Hustle Rising Suns. Isang magandang araw sa lahat ng mga kasinag na nakatutok from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao at sa iba't ibang bansa na bumubuo ng Asya. Happy Independence Day po sa inyong lahat na nanonood ngayon. Kami po ang inyong mga kasama, the Chief and the Wise Man. Ako po si Enzo Galarosa, and together with me, the Wise Man himself, Coach Pancho Alfonso. Coach Pancho, kamusta kayo? Happy Independence Day to you.
Yes, Enzo, happy Independence Day to you, and happy Independence Day sa lahat ng basketball fans na nanonood sa atin ngayon dito sa live stream at dito inside the SM Events Hall sa SM SOUTHMALL, Las Piñas City.
Yes, and very exciting game natin, Coach Pancho, diba? And I'm pretty sure excited ang ating mga kasama on the sidelines, si Daphne Lozano. We will hear more from Daphne later on through her stories from the sidelines. But syempre, pwede nyo pong tutukan itong Independence Day special natin mga kasinag sa lahat ng social media platforms natin at SINAG Liga Asya on both Facebook and Instagram. Follow us on TikTok and subscribe to our YouTube channel at SINAG Liga TV dahil it's the playoffs na sa parehong 23 and 19 under tournaments natin dahil nga 35 days na lang is the Junior World Showcase na, Coach Pancho, diba? And speaking of the tournament, let's talk about this tournament format natin for the 23 under. This is basically the quarterfinals one, Coach Pancho. We started with 8 teams, but through the exit of the then Parañaque Pelicans, all 7 teams qualified for the quarterfinals. Yung top 2 teams, namely Pampanga Delta and J Project Boomers, nasa semifinals na. The 3 and 4 teams, which is TGC Santa Rosa and Tikas Kapampangan, are waiting for the quarterfinals too. And the lowest seed teams, Hustle Rising Suns, etong San Pedro Mamba ex Mr. P Rentals Company, and LUID 1 Kapampangan, nasa quarterfinals 1 maglalaro ng single round robin, and isa ang malalaglag sa kanila.
Yes, that is why this is a very important game. Most especially, banggitin ko na sa San Pedro because this is the day 2 of the quarterfinals where in the day 1, they lost to Hustle Rising Suns. Though they need, this is a must-win game for them, enable for them to advance to the next stage. So, ang ganda ng format natin ngayon. More games. So, sulit na sulit ang laro para sa ating mga participating teams.
Yes, saktong-sakto, di ba, Coach Pancho? And saktong-sakto din ang ating game story for this afternoon's ball game for the Independence Day Special. Put an end to it.
Yes, because LUID 1 Kapampangan win will give them a ticket to the next round, while a loss by San Pedro White will eliminate them, while a win for them will keep their hopes alive in this tournament that we have.
Yes, and if they win itong San Pedro, they will have to bank on LUID losing. Kasi magkakaroon ng 3-way tie. But they're also in a good spot there, Coach Pancho. They only lost by a 3-point margin against the Hustle Rising Suns. Diba? So, medyo pag nanalo sila ngayon, mataas din ang chance nila makapasok dun.
Exactly. And that's why it's a very exciting ball game. What a way to start our Independence Day edition of this triple header that we have in this Wednesday afternoon.
A battle of the North and South dito for the Independence Day Special. But syempre mga kasinag, before we start this ball game, let's give it over to our Dora, the reporter on the sidelines, si Daphne Lozano, for her report on the 2 teams playing in this ball game. Daphne?
Thank you, Enzo. All or nothing. Those are the words of San Pedro Mamba's head coach Mark Roca when I asked their game plan for today. They're expecting 100% performance from the boys and leave the rest up to the Lord. Let's see if they will be able to prevail and redeem themselves in this match. Coming up is the quarterfinals, one match between LUID 1 Kapampangan and San Pedro Mamba. And now I'm turning it over to Mr. Ram Valid for our SINAG starters of the match.
Good afternoon, SLA fans. We're live from the SF SOUTHMALL, Las Vegas City. Welcome to SLA Junior Showcase Philippines quarter-final round 1. Presented to you by SINAG Liga ASYA and co-presented to you by CDO Foods Beer Incorporated. Foods that brings you home and True Religion Philippines. You can also catch the live action at SINAG Liga ASYA official FB page and YouTube channel at SINAG Liga TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the triple header games for the day 28 of the competition featuring our first match. It's LUID 1 KAPAMPANGAN and San Pedro Mamba X Mr. P Rentals Company. And now let's meet the starting lineups of the protagonists. First for your LUID 1 KAPAMPANGAN. Starting at point guard number 24, Razel Liwanag. Also at guard number 77, CJ Boytizer. Small forward number 29, EJ Sapaza. Power forward number 31, Parley Dimla. And center number 19, Benzon Lescano. LUID 1 KAPAMPANGAN is led by Coach Jonathan Benedict Buoy, assisted by Benji Nevado. Team consultant, Mr. Levery Porter. Team manager, Mr. Manarang. And team owner, Coach Jonathan Benedict Buoy. Your LUID 1 KAPAMPANGAN. And now let's meet the starting five of your San Pedro Mamba X Mr. P Rentals Company. Point guard number 5, Razel Satin. Shooting guard number 2, Gian Monse. Forward number 11, Elmer Domingo. Also at forward number 33, Joshua Mengilio. And center number 91, Kenny Flores. San Pedro Mamba X Mr. P Rentals Company is led by Coach Mark Roca. Assistant coaches, Carissa Pierre, Isel Velasco, and Paul Modelo. Team manager, Mr. Paulo Ramirez. Team owner, Attorney Melvin Matibag, and Mr. Paulo Ramirez. Your San Pedro Mamba X Mr. P Rentals Company. Game officials are Dennis Escaros, Jerome Guy, Jervin Bautiza, and Joshua Cruz.
And here are your SINAG starters of the game for LUID 1 KAPAMPANGAN. They start with Liwanag, Buitizon, Sapasap, Dimla, and Benson Liscano. Para naman dito sa San Pedro Mamba X Mr. P Rentals Company. They start with Lazatin, Manse, Mingilio, Domingo, and the 16-year-old phenom Kenny Flores. All or nothing for San Pedro Mamba X Mr. P Rentals Company. Ito namang LUID 1, the lowest seed team, trying to once again mount a miracle story dito sa SINAG Liga ASYA's first possession goes to LUID 1 and CJ Buitizon agad-agad takeover mode, Coach Pancho.
That's right. And I also noticed sa starting five ni Coach Jonathan Benedict Buwan, strong starting five. 3 of those players na nag-start ngayon sa kanya scored double figures nung last game nila. So, you know what it means to Coach Benedict Buwan itong larong to. That's why tingnan mo naman gaano ka-aggressive kagad si CJ Buitizon. First play pa lang, ha?
Yes. And the last time you and I covered a LUID 1 KAPAMPANGAN play quarterfinals game, that was that miracle comeback against another Laguna team, yung Davexeus construction last season, di ba, Coach Pancho?
That's right. And kanina pinag-uusapan natin prior to this game, yung LUID 1 KAPAMPANGAN team wherein hindi sila madalas nakokompleto during their past games, but we know their capability. They can win with using a depleted lineup. Ito, another basket again for them.
Russell Liwanag naman in 3s ang baskets dito ng LUID 1. And we can legitimately say, Coach Pancho, you and I have covered this team for 2 years. Playoff LUID 1 is one of the scariest teams talaga in the playoffs, di ba?
That's right. Especially itong si CJ Buitison and Russell Liwanag. CJ Buitison scored 15 points, Russell Liwanag 17 points during the last game.
We can see that kick out ni Buitison to Russell Liwanag, as you were pointing out kanina. Seeing daylight from the three-point land itong si Russell Liwanag.
That's right. So itong San Pedro team needs to watch out for those two players dito. And of course, they need to expect that they will explode in this very pivotal game that we have. Eto na naman sila.
Buitison on the run, flipping it up and in against the defense nila sa team. 5 points now for Mr. Everything.
That's right. Remember, yung mga past few games of CJ Buitison, he always start, penetrating, dishing out some passes, but this time, sobrang aggressive niya to start this game.
And that's the CJ Buitison na gusto natin, Coach Pancho, na kailangan na LUID 1. An aggressive CJ Buitison normally leads to victories. A passive CJ Buitison, dun sila mostly natatalo, di ba, Coach Pancho?
Oo, and tignan mo naman yung result ngayon so far. In less than 2 minutes, nakaka 8 points na agad sila, and they are defending well.
Yes, and one thing to watch out for dito sa San Pedro Mamba team, Coach Pancho, yung game nila against Hustle, their ball movement. First 3 quarters was non-existent as Russell Liwanag knocks down another triple. 5 points for Buitison, 6 points for Russell Liwanag, 11-0 start for LUID 1.
Wow.
We can see this lakas drive of the quarter batted by CDO Food Spear, food that brings you home by Mr. Everything, Coach Pancho.
That's right. So, strong start for them, especially for those two players na binanggit mo kanina. That's why itong San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company needs to take action. It needs to prevent those rousing start ng LUID 1 Kapampangan, Enzo.
Let's see if they can respond. Time out on the floor. We will be right back.
J Project Clothing Shop has been a sublimation company for a long time. We have evolved by proving quality and top-notch products for our customers. The design jerseys are carefully examined and printed in a quality machine that produces a fast printing, the biggest machine in the printing industry. In the sewing section, all the sewing experts use quality thread, needles and machine to make the product good-looking and durable. We customize clothing and sportswear in full sublimation. What are you waiting? Visit us now.
SINAG Liga ASYA Junior World Showcase Philippines Born 2001 Cup Playoffs is brought to you by CDO Food Spear, food that brings you home. Kenny Flores and itong San Pedro Mamba ex-Mr. P Rentals Company, Coach Pancho, still yet to find a basket as a guy missing for them in that game against Hustle. Albert Dingding is now on the floor, number 13.
That's right. So yun yung maagang adjustment dito ni Coach Mark Roca, inserting Albert Dingding early in this ball game.
Ika nga ni Coach Mark Roca, it's all or nothing na para sa kanila, di ba, Coach Pancho? If they lose this, they go down 0-2. And dalawang laro lang talaga, so you are eliminated officially. And that's a traveling violation on Joshua Mingilio.
Oh, sayang yun because that play is coming off a timeout and then you're committing a turnover.
So the onslaught of LUID 1 on both offense and defense, Coach Pancho, continue here.
Yes.
As Liwanag sees daylight again. Kala ko 3 out of 3 si Russell Liwanag.
And again, he was left wide open. Okay.
Look at that. Hustling hard pa to get the basketball, di ba?
Yeah. Even though nakita ko yung early adjustments si Coach Mark Roca sa defense kanina, may early pressure. But yung kanina kay Russell Liwanag, dapat hindi pa nila pwedeng gawin yun.
Look at that attack by Elmer Domingo.
Finally, first bucket.
So here's the patented pressure defense netong San Pedro Mamba. And it forces a turnover, Coach Pancho, agad.
That's right. This is their strong point dito. Itong pag-pressure defense. Dito sila marami na force na turnovers over the other teams.
And ginawa nila yung pressure defense na yan against Hustle. 4th quarter lang, kaya sila nakadikit. Pero sabi nga ni Coach Ernest nun, Coach Pancho, if they did it nung 1st quarter, they might have won the game. But then again, pag pressure defense and wala kang personnel to run, mahirap nga daw gawin. Wala, dun si Albert Dingding na talagang heart and soul ng pressure nila.
That's right, Edjo.
Sapasap, should I say. CJ Sapasap with that layup.
Yes, one of the important players also ni Coach Benedict who played great nung last game din nila. Itong si EJ Sapasap, quality minutes. That's why, yun nga, nanalo sila ron nung last game nila.
Siya yung co-best player of the game, di ba? Yun yung sinabi mo, EJ, CJ, MJ. Kasi si
Oo.
MJ Raimundo yung court side natin. Yun pa pala, wala for, LUID 1 Kapampangan. The JRU boys, wala ngayon. Random Simbulan, Daryl Garcia, Bench De Jesus, and also Marvin James Raimundo.
Yun, isa pa yun, di ba?
Imagine a backcourt with MJ Raimundo and CJ Buetison, di ba?
What a luxury.
Oo. Pero yun nga lang, hindi pa magagamit ni Coach Jonathan kasi wala pa rin yung yung Bomber Boys niya kung sabihin. As Dimla with a rebound. Hirap na hirap yung San Pedro Mamba, Coach Pancho. As the pass up with the catch. Di nga lang siya makapag-dribble na maayos and ball goes the way of San Pedro.
Yes, nahihirapan tong San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company na mag-orchestrate ng kanilang mga half-court sets because yun nga, so active itong mga LUID 1 Kapampangan players. Talagang they reading the passing lanes very well and nape-prevent nila yung mga early offense na strong point ng San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company.
Totoo niya, Coach Pancho. And one thing dito, the question also for LUID 1, Coach Pancho, diba? And I think it's a good idea for Coach Mark Roca to implement the pressure defense is yung resistensya nila. They only have a handful of players sa lineup nila ngayon, diba? When you pressure them and force them to run, is there any gas left in the tank pagdating ng fourth quarter for LUID, diba? Because we've seen this team have leads entering the fourth and then have a meltdown dahil nga nauubusan sila ng gasolina.
But we know na, they've proven that many times na kayang-kaya nilang manalo with the depleted lineup.
Yes.
And yun nga lang, but the flow ng offense nila minsan nadidisrupt or naapektuhan. Because syempre nagbabago yung game plan mo every game, especially if you have players you're expecting na maglalaro but all of a sudden biglang wala. Come game time.
Mingilio, Bright and Flores both fall down to the ground trying to box out each other. You can see Coach Mark Roca.
Yes, ito si JM Bright, kakapasok lang nito. But alam natin kung ano yung gagawin yan. Isa sa mga role player yan ni Coach Benedict Boy.
Coming off a turnover, basket na agad dito for San Pedro. This pressure defense is working.
Yes, and that is why they're the #1 team, Enzo, when it comes to points from turnovers, averaging 23 points per game off a turnover ng kalaban nila.
#1
Yes.
team, diba? Amongst all the talented teams dito sa 23 under natin, and that includes the Boomers and Pampanga Delta, diba?
Yes.
Itong San Pedro Mamba yung #1.
That's right. So yun yung dapat nilang i-maximize dito. When you are the #1 team when it comes to points from turnovers, ibig sabihin yung depensa mo is maganda and so active. Yun yung kailangan nilang i-maximize dito.
Let's take a look at that alley-oop play. Ang ating lakas assist of the quarter brought to by SM Southmall. We got it all for you, Ken Saraza, with that beautiful lob to Joshua Mingilio.
They need more of that. They need to get a lot of energy from, especially that guy, si number 91, Ken Flores.
Yes, but nabigyan ng break pa dito, Coach Pancho, San Pedro Mamba. Assistant Coach Benji Navarro gets a technical in his return game sa SINAG Liga Asya. Tagal nating hindi nakita si Coach Benji.
Yes, nakakamiss siya si Coach Benji. But, having a technical foul on Coach Benji Navarro on his comeback dito sa SINAG Liga Asya, especially for LUID 1 Kapampangan, it's not a good welcome. But somehow, and so that technical foul will work on their team. Minsan, di ba, tactic yan ng mga coaches para magising, di ba,
Yes.
yung mga players niya. So, let's see what would be the effect.
Oh, good Euro step move there by Elmer Domingo. And Coach Jonathan Buwan will call for ceasefire dito after a fiery start. 13-2. Biglang nagkaroon ng 7-0 run itong San Pedro Mamba x Mr. P Rentals Company. 13-7 is our score.
Sa unang subo hanggang huli, parang kisa aking pisngi. Kain love, love talaga. Kahit di sabihin, feel na love kami. Kain love, love talaga.
You can see Mr. Everything, the pride of Mabalacat, Pampanga, CJ Buetison and Coach Jonathan Benedict Buwan. And right now, let's give it to Daphne Lozano for her report on Coach Jonathan Buwan.
According to LUID 1 Kapampangan's head coach, Benedict Puan, they are missing some of their players due to personal commitments. Even so, he reminded the team to just play like that they always do and to just enjoy. Most especially that this is their first match for quarterfinals 1. The boys should not let their guard down and to play with pride. Will the LUID 1 oust the Mambas from the quarterfinals? Let's find out. Back to you, Enzo and Coach Pancho.
Thank you so much, Daphne. As yun nga prior commitment talaga, it's really school commitment ang nangyayari for LUID 1. Again, the Bomber Boys, or should I say, Bomb Squad nila, di ba? Yung mga JRU boys, hindi sila nakukompleto. The only constant players for LUID 1, tatlo. Parley Dimla, etong si Nathan Manarang, and CJ Buitison.
And you can't do anything about it, especially pag pinatawag na sila ng mother schools nila. But, again, Enzo, that's why the basketball team is composed of 15 players, 15 rosters. So, other players who are seldomly used, this is their chance to, a moment for them to shine and to contribute, especially in this important game that they have.
Liwanag blows a flat tire. But yun pa nga, 15 players every game, di ba? Tas, before the start of the season, you have a 20-man roster, di ba? Na pwede mong pagbalabalasahin sino magiging 15 to play mo, di ba, Coach Pancho?
And before naman sila siguro mag-join dito, that's why they finalized the 20-man roster. They anticipated na some games talaga hindi makakompleto But it's all on the coaching staff on how they prepare their players.
Yes, but I also got a chance to talk to Coach Jonathan and hindi man yan sinabi to kay Daphne, but we know the truth naman, di ba? There are certain players who train with them in the off-season, but bago dumating yung tournament, exited and transferred to a different Kapampangan team. Alam niyo na yung team na yon, yung other team na yon. But yun nga, the exodus of some of those players, medyo nahirapan na silang bumuo kasi yun nakapag-training na kayo for off-season and then ta-transfer sila before the start, di ba? So that's really a difficult adjustment for Coach Jonathan and Coach Benji Navarro.
That's right. And that's why, yun nga those are one of those challenges na kailangan nilang i-overcome, which is part of the game or in general, part of life. Yun, yung mga challenges na yun. So, anyway, in this ball game, bumababa, nakukuha na ng onting groove itong San Pedro Mamba Mr. P Rentals Company because it all started with their defense.
Yes, ito yung dream matchup mo. Si Bright tsaka si Samson, yung dalawang may kulay buhok, naglaban lang.
Ito na yung abangan natin. And also, I noticed that itong si JM Bright is on the same floor with Russell Liwanag. Kanina pala. Pinalitan na siya niya. Nate Manarang is already on the floor right now. So another weapon yan for Coach Benedict Buwan.
Totoo. And also MJ Elospa as sa pass-up, slashing through the defense. Grabe naman atake yun from EJ.
And that was because of Nate Manarang's presence. Because Nate Manarang can spread out the floor, lumuwang yung driving lane, and sa pass-up, taking advantage of that.
And John Bright fouls itong si Dingding. And I think, ito si John Bright, that's his job, di ba, being the enforcer role. But tingnan mo itong last drive of the quarter, brought by J Project Clothing Shop, makers of quality uniform. Galing dito kay EJ sa pass-up.
Yes, EJ sa pass-up actually top scored for them during the last game. 19 points, diba? Kaya nga, isa siya sa mga co-best player.
Yes. And itong Albert Dingding, last game para sa San Pedro Mamba in the first game of the quarterfinals, won against Hustle Rising Suns. Unfortunately, did not play, and evident dun sa laro na yun how much they missed his services on both ends of the floor. Ito, Buitison turns it over. And CJ, rarely natin siya makita mag-react ng ganun, Coach Panji. He was barking at the referee saying he was pushed.
And grabe ngayon ko lang nakita na malapit yung buhok ni JC Samson, Ayan na.
Napansin mo,
Ibang klase pala sa malapitan yung yung kulay ng buhok niya.
Sumali pa, may kulay buhok.
Dami may kulay buhok dito,
Underneath, good defense by Sapasap. Pansin ko, Sapasap is playing the 4, Coach Pancho,
That's how versatile this player is. He can slide down to 4, even 3.
And he plays 1 or 2, di ba? Especially in college basketball. If I remember correctly, team B to ng UST Growling Tigers. Just like this man, CJ Buitison. Nga lang, CJ misses. Ding, good bullet pass to Samson. But Samson misses the gimme.
Yes, hindi lang na-finish. And that's because of the intimidating presence and challenge by EJ sa pass-up that time. Ha? So mapapansin mo talagang aggressive itong LUID 1 Kapampangan.
Vingilio comes in for Kenny Flores. More speed on the floor again for Coach Mark Roca and more length as itong formation nila for the half-court trap, Coach Pancho. It's forcing LUID going to the sidelines. At doon naman din dinadala ng LUID yung bola din kasi.
Oo, and tingnan mo, sa pass-up and CJ Bituson, two of the best versatile players that we have here in this level that we have. And Nate Manarang knocking down his first three-pointer of this ball game.
Grabe, one of the best shooters in this entire tournament. Nathan Manarang. Again, Coach Pancho, he is the 4th leader in threes made. Averaging actually 3rd. Tied sila ni Gian Manse ng San Pedro Mamba at 2.3. So 2 of the best shooters are actually gonna go at it today. As Buitison fires from the outside off the mark. Eto Mingilio. Gives it to Ding. Albert flips it up and in. Wow!
Wow, that was a tough reverse. Sa reverse approach dun, ha. Usually, itong si Dingding yung nagbibigay ng mga drop passes dito kay Mingilio. But on that play, it was Mingilio who attracted the defense and gave that pass to Dingding, who created that very, very tough reverse. Look at this one more time.
Look at this, Coach Pancho. The last move of the quarter brought in by Cabling and Holdings Corporation. What a flip shot right there galing dito kay Albert Dingding.
Napakalalim, no?
And ang hirap pa nun kasi sa pasap sumabay sa kanya, Coach Pancho. Samson from the free throw line. Off the mark, and look at that rebound by Elospa. EJ has a running start. Sa pasap all the way to the basket with the finger roll.
Yes, look at how eluded 2 black shirts on that play.
And they were thinking na he would go to his strong hand, his left hand. Napakita niya, ambidextrous ako, kaya ko rin lumiyap gamit kanan.
Yes. Look at this.
Look at that layup there.
Kung ginamit niya yung kaliwa niya, he might be black.
Oh. It just goes to show na elite scorer talaga tong sa pass-up, no? Ang weird, di ba? He's a right-hand shooter, but he prefers to drive left all the time and finish with his left, di ba?
Yes, of course, credit to the coaching staff of LUID 1 Kapampangan, especially to si Coach Benji Navarro and Coach Benedict Buwan and the rest of the staff, because of course, every practice, may mga drills sila dyan. Talaga dine-develop nila yung mga players nila. And working on their weak points, and then, you know, also, yung mga strong points nila.
Totoo. And yung mga players talaga na ganyan, di ba, Coach Pancho? One player that I remember specifically that we covered is a pro player, si Jeff Comia. Mas prefer ni Comia drive gamit, nagdi-dribble ng left and finish with his left than compared to his right hand, kahit right-handed shooter siya, di ba?
And with the evolution of basketball ngayon, sa dami ng mga skills camp, ng mga basketball clinics, and may, di ba, may science na nga ngayon sa training. Talagang napakaswerte talaga na itong mga batang to.
Totoo yan. To the point na ginagawa na rin ng mga lakas 40 teams, di ba?
Oo, na-adapt na rin nila, no? Kaya minsan, pag nakakapanood ako ng mga coverage sa 40 up, grabe, ha? Parang bumabalik sila at na-adapt nila yung mga galawan minsan.
Minsan. Night and day ba? There's a miss there for Liscano. Not really his game shooting those long shots. But if you're San Pedro, you'd live with that. You're only down by 8 and you have the final shot of the quarter. Samson from the outside. Good defense. Galing dito kay Liwanag.
Yes, so ito si Samson, hindi pa nakakapuntos dito in this ball game.
And Coach Mark Roca was not happy with that foul. 0.6 of a second remaining. Wala nang balak yung LUID i-push yung bola.
Right.
And yet, finaul pa nila itong si Benson Liscano.
You're giving up, you know, 2 easy points, kung masya-shoot.
Ayun.
Yes.
Isa.
But nevertheless, kahit hindi ma-shoot to, as a coach, magagalit din talaga ako noon. Because wala na yun Pero may 0.6, di ba? Decision making, yun yung kailangan nilang improve dito. Anyway, these are 23 under,
Yes.
right? Players, they're still in a work in progress, di ba? But again, in these types of games, dito sila matututo.
One step away from the pro level and the college level. Itong mga batang to as after the end of the first period of this quarterfinals round 1 matchup, it is the North team, ang LUID 1 Kapampangan, ang may kalamangan after that fiery start, that 11-0 start that they had. But itong San Pedro Mamba ex Mr. P Rentals Company, unti-unting nagising, especially yung pagbabalik nga ni Albert Dingding. But on the other end, LUID 1 got points from everybody. EJ Zapasap, CJ Buetison, Russell Liwanag, Nathan Manarang. Multiple players with multiple efforts dito for LUID 1 Kapampangan. Kaya ngayon, meron silang 9-point lead, 21-12 after the end of the first period.
As they're off from a rocky first quarter, San Pedro Mamba Mr. P Rentals Company head coach Mark Roca reminded the boys to double their efforts in stopping their opponents from scoring continuously. They should exhibit an aggressive defense while having a smooth transition for offensive attacks. Let's see if the boys will be able to do and be more in the second quarter. Back to you, Enzo and Coach Pancho.
Thank you so much, Daphne. And yun talaga yung magiging focal point dito para sa San Pedro Mamba ex Mr. P Rentals Company. Intense defense and smooth offense. So far, the defense, Coach Pancho, di ba, on point? But yung offense, medyo siguro not as smooth as what Coach Mark Roca would have wanted it to be.
Yes, maybe because, of course, nagulat sila dun sa rousing start ni CJ Buetison and Russell Liwanag. Biro mo, nagkaroon ba naman ng 11-0 run, di ba?
Silang dalawa lang
Oo, and then dun sila nag-adjust sa defense nila, which is dun sila nakilala, and yun, medyo unti-unti silang nakakahabol dito. But yun nga lang, naunahan talaga sila ron, Enzo. That's the story of the first quarter.
Totoo is. Ayun, nabigla ni Flores yung buong depensa ng LUID. Doon tumira ng jumper si Kenny Flores, Coach Pancho. And he's been working on that kanina pa.
Oo, even yung mga past few games niya, ha? Nagkakaroon na siya ng range na gano'n.
The nonchalant player, Coach Pancho, MJ Elospa. Grabe. Ito tumira na lang, tapos parang wala lang sa kanya. Bawi naman dito. Russell Lazatin. Sa shootout na, Coach Pancho.
Yes, I think kailangan gawin dito na San Pedro Mamba. Mr. P Rentals Company, they need to pick up on their outside shots para din ma-extend yung floor and mabigyan ng pagkakataon yung mga shooters nila.
That's right. As good baseline pass by Sapasap and the reverse pa for Benson Liscano.
Yes, Benson Liscano using his body that time and great positioning inside. Kasi nga naunahan niya si Ken Flores doon sa pwestuhan. Eto, nagkakapisikalan na si Liscano at Ken Flores. Gustong-gustong bumawi ni Kian.
Oo.
Or Kenny, rather.
Take a look at this once again. Yung pull-up three-pointer kanina ni Lazatin, ang ating lakas shot of the quarter, brought by CDO Food Sphere, food that brings you home. How about this, Coach Pancho? In terms of average offensive rebounds, Kenny Flores is #1 in the league. Rodman na Rodman, averaging 4.3 offensive rebounds per game.
Yes.
Not far behind from him, surprisingly, is Russell Liwanag with 2.8.
That's right. And ito si Kenny Flores, 5th in the league when it comes to rebounds. Total 8.3 rebounds per game.
At 16 years old. Diba? MJ Elospa now with 5 points. Turn naman down Elospa, magkaroon ng scoring outburst for LUID 1.
Oo, and we know MJ Elospa, hindi pala tira yan. Titira lang yan pag kinakailangan. But in this ball game, nakakadalawang sunod na siya. Muntikan pa doon.
Oo. Manse with that three-pointer again. Tied sila at the third spot. Neto ni Nathan Manarang at 2.3 3-point makes per ball game. So, again, shootout na mangyayari dito, Coach Pancho, di ba?
Oo, and yung pace ng ball game natin, fast pace. Ito yung laro ng San Pedro Mamba Mr. P Rentals Company. Tinatapatan sila ng LUID 1 Kapampangan.
Yes. It's Kenny Flores, 16-year-old phenom. According to him, he will play. Nung tinanong ko siya saan siya maglalaro, sabi niya he has committed na daw to the Adamson Baby Falcons, the defending UAAP Juniors champions. So, di ba? Bright future for this kid. Oh! Dangerous fall there for Flores. And also Parley Dimla. Look at this. Ang ganda ng pwesto ni Dimla and out of nowhere.
And ang ganda ng pasa. Ang ganda ng find dito ni EJ sa pasa. Locating Parley Dimla, sliding down underneath.
Nara shooting foul dahil hindi din naman nakaangat doon si Parley Dimla. But maybe that's the next step for Kenny Flores. Discipline on defense, Coach Pancho, di ba? Taas kamay lang, hindi mo kailangan tumalon sa mga ganung situations.
Kasi gusto niya kasi parating sumasabay siya eh. Anyway, parang ganyan talaga pag mga bata, di ba? But yun yung mga kailangan niyang matutunan, yung control.
Bata pa naman din kasi, 16 years old, di ba? He's the youngest. Second youngest is Andy at 17, di ba?
Pero laki ng potential, no?
Dimla, DHO, papunta kay Manarang. Two of the best shooters in the league guarding each other.
Alam nila yung laro ng isa't isa. So they want to cancel each other out.
Totoo. As Manarang fires off the mark. Buitison try to keep it alive. Lasatin tumatakbo on the open floor. Russell puts it up and in. Wow!
Ito ang gusto ng San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company. Itong takbuhan. Ito talaga sila nagtastrive.
In 5 puntos na lang hinahabol ng Coach Pancho. CJ against Elmer. CJ, wow! Took the big man to school from the post.
Again, kaya nga Mr. Everything, he can do it all. He's so versatile. Talagang playing, he can play 1 to 4 positions. Kaya na itong laruin eh.
Kailangan pa nga siguro ng magpa-5 to si Buitison.
Lagyan mo pa ng onting height, no? Diba?
Oo.
Take charge mode talaga si CJ ngayon, ha?
Yes. CJ, step through, drops it off to Parley. Parley, woo! The footwork galing dito kay Dimla.
Big man footwork, big man moves right there for Parley Dimla.
Parang ginaya lang niya yung galon ni CJ kanina.
Sa kabilang side lang, no?
Bawi naman, Gian Mance. Pangalawang bake na yan from 3.
So ito nakakalamang ngayon si Gian Mance over Nate Manarang. Si Nate nakakaisa pa lang, ha?
Si Gian pangalawa
They have their own personal parang shootout dito.
Yes. As ito, Elos pa. Will try from the outside.
That's not his range. At may defender siya ron.
Ang layo ng mga sobra. Russell gives it to Mingilio. Joshua will try from the outside. Even the big man can shoot para dito sa San Pedro Mamba.
And don't look now. There's a 1-point lead dito for LUID 1 Kapampangan because of that back-to-back 3-pointers.
As Russell Liwanag saw daylight break open dun sa gitna ng depensa and lumipad na lang itong si Russell Liwanag.
Grabe to si Russell Liwanag, no? And so he always sees the daylight, no? Especially pagkasama niya sa floor itong kakampi niya na papasok ngayon, si JM Bright.
Coach Jonathan opting to go with a bigger defensive lineup. Upo muna niya yung kanyang floor spacer na si Nathan Manarang. So basically, ang shooters lang niya on the floor, it's Elospa and itong si Liwanag. Pero look at that drive by Buitison. Tatlong tinry atakihin doon ni CJ.
Kita mo talaga yung mission dito ni CJ talaga is to attack the basket hard.
Mingilio, jumper. Very shot hungry ngayon si Joshua Mingilio, surprisingly. Newfound confidence, possibly, dahil si Mingilio against Hustle Rising Sun was one of the catalysts bakit sila nakabalik dun sa laro na yun. As take a look at this lakas shot of the quarter brought by CDO Food Spear, food that brings you home. Si Joshua Mingilio with the 3-pointer.
Yes, so ito nakakakuha na ng unting momentum dito itong San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company. Because yun yung gusto nilang laro, yung mabilisan. And then na-open yung mga shooters nila just like that. That's his third 3-pointer.
Yes. And I said, no bomb squad para dito. Sa LUID 1, merong isang bomber dito for San Pedro. The former JRU heavy bomber, Gian Mance with a triple.
And that's why we are tied at 34. And so halfway ng ating second quarter.
Totoo, as Liwanag, wala yung kanya atake. Bright with a steal. Look at that, JM Bright. Big man move right there.
Diba? Saving itong si Russell Liwanag, getting that miss of Liwanag. Bright is there.
On the bright side.
Kaya itong dalawang to, dangerous to pag magkasama sa same floor eh.
Ano pa yung liga natin? SINAG Liga Asya. Mingilio with another basket. Mingilio, again, this is the best I've seen Mingilio really perform as Bright. Again, the offensive rebound off a Liwanag miss.
di ba? That's why he is there. That's why he was inserted by Coach Jonathan Bendigman. But this guy, Mingilio, he was the take charge guy, especially in this third quarter. Look at the lakas drive of the quarter.
Brought to you by CDO Food, Beer Food that brings you home. Might have even gotten fouled there possibly, di ba? But dahil playoffs na, Coach Pancho, no ticky-tack whistles from the referees. As ito pwede natin tawagin, Mr. Brightside, di ba?
That's why he's always there, di ba? During the darkest moments ng team niya at ng teammate niya, di ba? Especially itong si Russell Liwanag kanina, di ba? Yung mga 2 mintis siya yung nakakakuha, di ba?
Yun nga lang, 2 mintis siya from the free throw line. And that has been, after covering about 2 years ago, di ba? Yun talaga yung weakness niya, yung free throw shooting niya, di ba?
Right. You know what? It was Lasatin, Mingilio, and itong si Manse. That took matters dito. Midway ng second quarter, kaya sila nakabalik. Wow!
The Mabalakat connection right there. Buitison to Elosmo, but Elosmo might have rolled his ankle. There's a little hobble in his step.
Yung pag-landing niya, no? So, ito na si CJ Buitison starting to create some plays for his teammates.
Pero John Samson with his first 3 points of the ball game. You called for his shooting, Coach Pancho, kanina.
Yes, and John Samson is their #1 leading scorer for San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company, averaging 16 points per game. And speaking of #1 scorer, CJ Buitison.
Parang #1 in everything for LUID.
Actually, nung nakita ko yung stats leaders, thank you, hey Ryan Diraya, for providing us those vital information. Lahat sa LUID 1 Kapapangan, majority, puro si CJ Buitison yung mga nandun.
And at this point, we're not even surprised anymore after covering this kid for 2 years, di ba, Coach Pancho? A former Trail International School University player in Thailand. Then, of course, na-recruit siya sa UST while we were covering 2 years ago.
Oo, napanood ko pa siya ron.
Tapos, siyempre ngayon, he wants to carve out his own name, di ba? He exits UST. Now he's, I'm surprised no college team has picked up this kid yet, di ba?
Actually, baka meron na yan. Siguro,
Meron na din na sinasabi.
Ayaw lang muna na spill yung beans, di ba?
Kita mo 7 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists na agad para kay Buitison, di ba?
A usual day at the office, di ba?
Debut game nga niya dito sa Junior World Showcase Philippines. Their very first game, 18, 10, and 11. Di ba, Ray? Triple-double agad yung unang pakilala niya dito sa panibagong tournament natin. 2 free throws para dito kay Pili. Nakakapasok lang, ha? So again, the guard rotation for Coach Mark Roca is effective. Which was not the case nung last game nila against Hustle, but now it's working. Pili, Dingding, Lazatin, Manse, Samson.
Yes, and itong si Allen James Pili, one of the shock troopers dito ni Mark Roca. Fresh legs to, why? Because hindi naglaro to nung last game nila.
Yes.
So talagang full of energy to. Ito yung ine-expect sa kanya, but this guy knows how to go into the right position. Kaya nabibigyan siya ng mga magagandang pasa ng teammates niya.
Professional scorer talaga tong Ilospa na to ng Coach Pancho. Manse fires, knocks it down, pang-apat na for Gian Manse.
That screen, yung screen na yun lang yung kailangan niya to get some space para makatake ng shot na gano'n.
Let's look at the shot. Sa pass-up, you saw it in his face, Coach Pancho. No one was gonna stop him going to the basket.
Ang galing niya itong mag-cut, ang galing niya itong pumunta sa driving lane. Parang nag-round robin lang ng play na yun.
Manse with a heat check there from way downtown. A chance for LUID to retake the lead. Sa pass-up, already nearing a double-double performance. EJ flips it up and in, plus a foul.
Yeah, one of the reasons why EJ sa pass-up is like a scoring machine dito, especially at the offense floor, because of the spacing ng LUID 1 Kapapangan. Ang luwang, kaya nakaka-operate siya.
Yun mo yun, ating lakas move of the quarter, but may Cabling and Holdings Corporation. Sabi, using his length, his speed, yung pag-dribble niya. So very, very talented and can finish with his left and right hand,
Yes,
di ba?
and his power. His ability to absorb those contacts, kaya nakakailang 3-point play na to, di ba?
Speaking of EJ sa pass-up, bigay natin dito kay Daphne Lozano for her report on EJ sa pass-up.
I asked EJ Sapasap on what would be the team's greatest challenge that they have to overcome for today's match, and he said, "Kalaban talaga namin ang sarili namin." He believes that they should trust themselves and their coach's system and execute well on their end. He also expressed his thoughts on having his eye on the prize, which is winning today's match. Him and his team does not just want to win, but they need to win. Back to you, Enzo and Coach Pancho.
Thank you so much, Daphne. And yun nga kalaban, sarili. And you can see, yung focus from LUID 1 is really, really different. What a block there by Mingilio!
Great timing, using his length that time. Tiniming niya talaga to si EJ sa pass-up.
And look at that. Saraza, binangga doon para ma-off-balance si Manarang before he could even jump.
Yun talaga magaling dito yung San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company. You know, coming off a turnover, nakakapunta sila. But this guy, wow.
Ayan na yung pambawi niya kay Manse. Oh, what a spin! Saraza, same spot, same result for Ken Saraza.
Look at the familiarity of the players of San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company. They know where to locate their teammates. They know the timing of their passes. Eto, same spot.
Different result nga lang for Nathan. Let's look at Bright, hustling hard. Basket and one for Mr. Brightside.
Yes. J.M. Bright scoring on that possession against 4 dark shirts.
He did not give up on the play, Coach Pancho. Tignan mo yung apat na teammate niya, pababa na, siya lang ang nag-iisang white shirt doon. At yan ang ating lakas grab of the quarter brought to by SLAJuniorPhilippines Philippines Corporation, our official advertising partner dito sa SINAG Liga Asya.
Perfect compliment talaga to si J.M. Bright dito, especially if kaila EJ, kaila Nate, kaila CJ. Kasi as known shooters, etong si EJ sa pasap, talagang pag dumrive, kaya mag-finish. Ito naman si J.M. Bright, talagang hustle player.
Mababa nga lang yung pasa doon ni Elmer Domingo. Trying to go to Pili. Turnover for San Pedro.
Great defense by Parley Dimla that time.
The addition of John Bright, Coach Pancho, I mean, napapansin pa ako wala ngayon for LUID 1, ha? I do not see Genriv Manalo anywhere, di ba?
Yes, oo. Isa sa mga key players ni Coach Benedict Buwan niya, si Genriv. Kaso wala siya rito.
Outside of yung mga bomb squad ni Coach Jonathan, wala nga si Genriv Manalo. I mean, there's a lot of players na yun talaga when talking to Coach Benedict and Coach Benji, I do believe yung sinasabi nila na there are a handful of games na they could have won if kumpleto sila. And totoo naman yun eh.
Yes.
Bumibitaw lang talaga sila come the fourth quarter dahil nga kulang sila, di ba? But in this game, it seems like they're all focused into getting this win, di ba, Coach Pancho? And eliminating itong San Pedro Mamba.
Oh, and if they win in this ball game, so they will advance, right?
Yes.
They will become a scarier team because baka dun sa mga games nila sa quarterfinals too, dun sila mas makukumpleto because, di ba, baka yun na magiging available yung mga other players na wala ngayon. So, scary team tong LUID 1 Kapampangan.
Yes. Let's see what happens here as Albert Dingding scores, cuts the lead down to 3. Tapasa. Wow! Sayang lang for liwanag.
Pero ang ganda ng play na yun. Ang ganda ng pagkakaslide ni Parley. Hindi lang pumasok.
Oh, beautiful up fake for Albert. Hindi lang pumasok din. Mga highlight attempts ang ginagawa ng mga bata, Coach Pancho.
Yeah, so far, nag-enjoy ako dito sa second quarter na to because a different quarter for both teams dito. Nakapag-adjust tong San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company. Ito naman LUID 1 Kapampangan. A series of spurt sa defense, sa offense. Usual players delivering. Other players contributing as well. So far, ang ganda ng game 1 natin dito sa Independence Day Special.
Yes. Grabe, no? Dahil walang pasok. Holiday. Mga tao nanonood ngayon at nakatutok. For sure, they're enjoying. Kasi nga, one team, it's all or nothing for them. Dito naman sa kabila, they want to create something out of what could have been nothing for them in the elimination round. As ito, we have a timeout on the floor for LUID 1. 52-51, final 9 seconds of the first half. The huddle dito ng LUID 1 Kapampangan, Coach Benji and Coach Jonathan Marking instructions as this SINAG Liga ASYA Junior World Showcase Philippines is brought to you by Cabling and Holdings Corporation. Tutok lang po mga kasinag sa Cabling Channel 59 on Friday, June 14 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mapapanood niyo po ang laban ng Hustle Rising Suns versus the J Project Clothing Boomers. And for the other game na mapapanood nyo, it's gonna be Pampanga Delta Royce Hotel and Casino kontra etong LUID 1 Kapampangan. It's gonna be on Friday, June 14. Eto, liwanag. 5 seconds, gives it to Parley. Back to Russell. Nathan from way downtown. Off the mark. And that will end our very, very explosive second quarter, Coach Pancho.
Yeah, interesting second quarter that we have here. Both teams scoring at will, doing their defensive, adjustments, and that's why we saw a lot of outside shots from just like that kay Mingilio, and also yung mga shooters talagang nag-deliver. But this guy, EJ Sapasa, talagang non-stop. Who can stop this inside? But yung outside shooting ng San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company, yun yung nagbalik sa kanila dito sa second quarter after being down for a double digit ng first quarter. And their outside shooting actually connected the second quarter. But of course, LUID 1 Kapampangan with JM Bright coming off the bench, providing ample support dito. Very steady dito for LUID 1 Kapampangan. That's why close ball game tayo. Up by 1 ng LUID 1 Kapampangan over the San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company, 52-51.
Who will put an end? That is the question na malalaman natin ang sagot sa pagbabalik natin dito sa SINAG Liga ASYA Junior World Showcase Philippines.
J Project Clothing Shop has been a sublimation company for a long time. We have evolved by proving quality and top-notch products for our customers. The design jerseys are carefully examined and printed in a quality machine that produces a fast printing, the biggest machine in the printing industry. In the sewing section, all the sewing experts use quality thread, needles and machine to make the product good-looking and durable. We customize clothing and sportswear in full sublimation. What are you waiting? Visit us now.
Sa unang subo hanggang huli, parang kisa aking pisngi. Kain love, love talaga. Kahit di sabihin, feel na love kami. Kain love, love talaga.
J Project Clothing Shop, premium fabric. We customized, quality printing. Makers of quality uniform. J Project Clothing Shop, premium fabric. We customized, quality printing. Makers of quality uniform.
Sobrang bilis ba? Yan ang bilis ng FiberX. Yan ang internet.
Ako si Alpi Martinez ng Team Firekeep. Suportahan ng SINAG Lakas 40 2.0.
Ako si Lou Abad ng Tito Rex Firewire. Suportahan ng SINAG Lakas 40 2.0.
J Project Clothing Shop has been a sublimation company for a long time. We have evolved by proving quality and top-notch products for our customers. The design jerseys are carefully examined and printed in a quality machine that produces a fast printing, the biggest machine in the printing industry. In the sewing section, all the sewing experts use quality thread, needles and machine to make the product good-looking and durable. We customize clothing and sportswear in full sublimation. What are you waiting? Visit us now.
Sa unang subo hanggang huli, parang kisa aking pisngi. Kain love, love talaga, kahit di sabihin. Feel na love kami. Kain love, love talaga.
J Project Clothing Shop, Premium Fabric. We customized, quality printing. Makers of quality uniform. J Project Clothing Shop, Premium Fabric. We customized, quality printing. Makers of quality uniform.
Sobrang bilis ba? Yan ang bilis ng FiberX. Yan ang internet.
Ako si Alpi Martinez ng Team Firekeep. Suportahan ng SINAG Lakas 40 2.0.
Ako si Luabad ng Tito Rex Firewire. Suportahan ng SINAG Lakas 40 2.0.
Magandang hapon mga kasinag, and you're still tuned in to SINAG Liga Asya quarterfinals 1 match between the San Pedro Mamba Mr. P Rentals Company and the LUID 1 Kapampangan. And I am beside two very important men from both teams, but on my left side is Mr. Paulo Ramirez, the team owner and team manager of San Pedro Mamba Mr. P Rentals Company. Good afternoon po, sir. What can you say po so far sa pinapakita ng Mambas, especially in the first half, as a team owner?
Sa akin, kahit lamang yung LUID 1, proud kami sa pinapakita ng boys namin kasi kahit short-handed kami kasi merong mga players namin na hindi available ngayon. Pero sa buong time namin dito sa SINAG, yung laging battle cry namin na all out lang kami palagi every game. Yun yung nakikita ko dun sa mga boys namin ngayon.
No doubt din naman na, sir, especially isa lang rin naman po ang kalamangan and we still have the second half. But now I'm giving you the opportunity to greet and thank anyone that you like po.
Ayun, sulitin ko lang kasi yung first, gusto namin pasalamatan syempre si Attorney Mamba for letting us represent ng franchise ng San Pedro Mamba dito sa SINAG Liga Asya. Yung buong pamunuan ng SINAG Liga Asya sa napakagandang opportunity na nabigay sa amin para mabigay namin sa mga players na taga San Pedro na makapaglaro sa ganito kalaking liga. Yung Immaculate Heart of Mary School sa San Pedro, Chris Bill Ballers ng San Pedro kay Boss Alvin Lugo, sa mga coaches at sa mga players, sa parents ng mga players, nagpapasalamat kami lahat sa mga sumusuporta sa amin. Ayun lang po.
Thank you so much, sir. And now on my right side is the head coach of the LUID 1 Kapampangan, Mr. Jonathan Buan. Hello po, sir. Good afternoon din po. So, yun nga po, as I mentioned earlier, dikit nga po talaga yung labanan, especially in the first half. Ano ka po kaya yung necessary adjustments naman na kailangan gawin ng team coming to the second half?
Lagi na mga sinasabi namin, una-una depensa eh. Lalo na underman kami, 8 lang kami, lagi. Kulang na naman yung mga bata. So yun lang, depensa, wag magbadali. Lagi naman yung sinasabi palagi namin sa kanila. So, kung yung ano namin ng mga coach like Coach Benji and Levy, sundin lang nila kasi lalo na konti lang kayo. Mapapagod lahat pagka nagbilis ng magbilis yung mga to eh. Yun lang naman adjustment namin ginagawa lagi. Depensa lang.
Okay po, sir. Meron po ba kayong mga gustong batiin at pasalamatan?
Ayo po, yung mga taga Las Piñas, hello po, maraming salamat sa pag-suporta nyo sa LUID 1. Mga taga Angeles po, Concepcion Tarlac, kumusta po kayo dyan? Hi pala sa wife ko, sa mga kids ko, Jasper, MJ, tsaka si Bea. Kumusta po kayo dyan? Ang Pulong Maragol.
And that is all for our SINAG halftime interview. Back to you, Enzo and Coach Pancho.
Thank you so much, Daphne. And once again, thank you so much to Paolo Ramirez, the team manager and team owner of San Pedro Mamba ex Mr. P Rentals Company, and also Coach Jonathan Benedict Buwan, the head coach and team owner of the LUID Kapampangan, as his team is up by 152-51 against San Pedro. Kami pa rin po inyong mga kasama, Enzo Galarosa, and the wise man himself, Coach Pancho Alfonso. And Coach Pancho, in that first half, LUID with an onslaught and then nag-rally etong San Pedro Mamba. What are the things that you see for both teams na pwede nilang ikapanalo dito sa laban natin?
Yes, for the LUID Kapampangan, of course, it's their lineup. CJ Bitesod, Russell Lewanag with a rousing start, 11-0, and then Farley Dimla, lahat nagko-contribute. 8 players lang sila, but those 8 players has already contributed into their cause. But for San Pedro Mamba, it's their defense, and that's the reason why they come back alive, especially in the second quarter. And nung second quarter, nag-connect na yung mga shooters nila, and then lahat pumapasok na yung mga 3-pointers nila, and yun yung adjustments na nangyari nung second quarter. And as we said earlier, San Pedro Mamba is the #1 team when it comes to fast break points, and they're the #1 team in forcing their opponents to a lot of turnovers. So yun yung kailangan gawin nila dito over the LUID Kapampangan dahil meron lang silang 8 players. But of course, knowing Coach Jonathan Benedict Buwan, and if you have Russell Liwanag, CJ Biteson, Dimla, those 8 remaining players who are playing right now, they can win with the depleted life. They've proven that in the past.
Sabi nga, keyword nga na sinabi ni Coach Jonathan kanina, 8 players lang kami. Pahabol niya, lagi, di ba? So, they're used to this na being depleted, di ba? So, but still, with the way itong San Pedro Mamba plays, their playstyle is really a battle of attrition para dito sa LUID dahil nga they play a fast-paced game, takbuhan, and especially with that full-court press that they always do, di ba? That's gonna be key for San Pedro that we will look at dito sa second half. But for LUID 1, MJ sa pass-up, a monster already in the first half. 11 points and 9 rebounds agad. As we can see, Coach Pancho, the halftime stats. Look at the field goal discrepancy in terms of percentage. 51% for LUID, 37 lang for San Pedro.
Yes, a lot of attempts being made by San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P Rentals Company. But yung conversion, mas mataas yung LUID Kapampangan. But rebounding department, hindi naman masyadong nagkakalayo. Assist departments, almost the same din, but yung bench points. Of course, obviously, why mataas yung bench points sa LUID Kapampangan? Because 8 players lang sila.
Tatlo lang yan,
But all of those players, again, are contributing for LUID Kapampangan.
3 players combining for 21, di ba? Isipin mo yan ang ating mga leading scorers at the half sa pass-up, leading itong LUID 1 with 11 and 9 rebounds pa yan. Elos pa with 9 points, Liwanag with 8, and Budison with 7. Para man dito sa panig ng San Pedro Mamba, ex Mr. P Rentals Company. Manze with 12, also with Mingilio, 12 points din. Dingding in his return game with 7, and Russell Lazatin with 5. So, the people you expect to score for both teams, sa pass-up, Elos, Paliwanag, Budison, Manze, Mingilio, and also Lazatin and Dingding nakaka-score na. But again, who will put an end to their streak dito? Is it LUID 1? Is it San Pedro Mamba? Malalaman po natin yan ang sagot sa tanong na yan sa pagbabalik natin dito sa SINAG Liga Asya. The SINAG Liga Asya Junior World Showcase Philippines is brought to you by SM SOUTHMALL. We got it all for you. We could literally say for this tournament, yun yung home natin, di ba? For this Junior World Showcase Philippines in Lakas 40, yun yung naging home natin, itong SM Events Hall in SM SOUTHMALL. But I'm very excited that SINAG Liga Asya will finally go home on Saturday.
Oh, yes. So, sana makasama, no? And, but, again, speaking of SM Events Hall, dito sa SM SOUTHMALL Las Vegas, napakalamig dito sa events na to, no? Napakalinis, ang lamig-lamig dito. Talagang napakaganda. Kaya naman, di ba, second home na natin to.
Yes. As Mingilio, wow! Look at that attack from Joshua Mingilio.
Sweet move dito para kay Mingilio. Napakaswabe nung galaw niya ngayon.
Grabe. He reminds me of another Laguna player, Coach Pancho. A Laguna Pro player. Kilala mo to si Jeff Calang, di ba?
Oo.
Big man who can shoot from the outside, can dribble, and can attack, di ba?
Complete package, di ba? Tapos may 3-point range pa to si Joshua Mingilio, di ba?
Shoutout Kuya Jeff Galang. Pride of Kabuyaw, Laguna,
Yun.
di ba? Ito sa pasap. Look at that! Mingilio dumabantay kay sa pasap, pero no problem. Sabi ni EJ sa pasap, parang mano-imano ginagawa nilang dalawa.
Yes, grabe yung first step dito ni AJ sa pasa pa. Even na may help defense doon, he was able to get away with that. Oh, good tap. Kaso, sa kalaban.
Oo.
Oh!
What a block by Liwanag!
Grabe! 200 block ka.
Oo.
And yung timing, kita mo naman yung paglan niya doon. Bumaksak pa siya, do? Grabe yung sacrifice na binibigyan ng mga players ng LUID 1 Kapampangan. Why not? Quarterfinals 1.
Yes, look at that! Offense and defense. Russell Liwanag, Coach Pancho.
Wow. The same way how he started nung first quarter. How he started this game, di ba?
And that, again, LUID 1 is one of the most dangerous teams in the playoffs. We are the few, but we are the most dangerous team, di ba, Coach Pancho?
Yes.
As beautiful spin by Domingo, nawala nga lang sa kanya yung bola, and it's now a turnover.
That's right. And don't count this LUID 1 Kapampangan. May mga teams tayo na nako-cover before na kapag undermanned or with a depleted lineup, talang dehado to. But this team, minsan mas productive sila pag ganun eh.
Kita natin ating lakas drive of the quarter brought to by CDO Food, Spear Food that brings you home.
Grabe yung lakas drive of the quarter niya. Nakita mo yung attention na nakuha ni EJ sa pasap, kaya nalibre sa ilalim si Russell Liwanag. Eto na naman siya.
Good pass to Nathan. And Nathan flipping it up and in. He has been working with that move kasama si Coach Ernest Alaw and Leap Basketball PH. Yung floater na yun, they've been working on that the entire time.
Yes, and they're doing it dito without CJ Bitison on the floor.
Right.
So the guns of LUID 1 Kapampangan contributing, but a quick retaliation for San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P. Rentals Company.
And one thing, if you look at the play style, San Pedro wants to run the floor every time they get an opportunity. Ito LUID 1, they're slowing things down, Coach Pancho. Diba? Kumbaga nagtitipid sila ng enerhiya.
Yes.
As good move by John. Right there, you step through move after the good drop pass. Galing dito kay Sapasa.
Oo, yun talaga yung strength niya. Tambay lang siya dun sa dunker spot, using his body that time. Abang-abang sa mga pasa. But look at this guy, hindi natatakot. Hindi lang pumasok yung tira.
And now Sapasa officially with a double-double na, Coach Pancho, with that 10th rebound niya. And yung points niya, hindi ko na nababanggitin kasi for sure, aangat yung puntos nito ni Sapasap eh.
Exactly.
How about that, di ba? You get CJ Buitison some help na, di ba, Coach Pancho? And double-double machine pa din, kagaya ni Sapasap.
That's right. And naman naman si CJ Bitson. Nagpapahinga muna ngayon. Pinapanood muna niya yung mga teammates niya doing the damage here.
Liwanag again, that beautiful spin move there. Put him on a blender.
Mahihirapan tayo dito. Pag nanalo yung LUID 1 Kapampangan, mahihirapan tayong pumili.
Pwede ba silang 8?
because all of the 8 players are playing very well.
Oo. As Elmer Domingo gets the basket and one. But take a look at that spin cycle galing dito kay Russell Liwanag.
Oh, and finishing with the left hand, Enzo. That was difficult.
Pirouette move, di ba? Alam mo, balerina eh. Bonus free throw bali dito kay Elmer Domingo, starting to catch fire now for San Pedro Mamba.
Right, sabi siguro ni Elmer Domingo, pinag-iisipan niya mag-best player ng LUID 1 Kapampangan. Nandito pa kami.
Oo. As Buitison comes in, and look at that substitution. Lalabas itong si Sapasa, papasok naman itong si Buitison, di ba?
Yes, and same with San Pedro Mamba, Mr. P. Rentals Company. Manse coming back, di ba? He's one of the guys na nagpabalik sa kanila sa second quarter.
Look at who
outside
is
shooting.
Si Manarang ang
Yun yung
binabatay.
matchup, no? Kanina pa, no?
Shooter to shooter. Liwanag, low dribble, kicks it. Manarang three-pointer. Off the mark, Russell keeps it alive.
Grabe yung activity dito ni Russell Liwanag. Talagang
pahirap ang tira pero
game face.
oo, finally, Flores clears it para dito sa San Pedro Mamba. Mingilio.
Oh,
Wala yung layup niya. Manses wide open. Off the mark nga lang for Gian. They toss it up to Elospa. And MJ, oy, nabiting lang, but on the second serving.
yes. Great recovery by MJ Elospa. This is the guy that he would love to have in a team, kasi he can play to multiple positions. He can run down the floor, finish the basket, but he lost his shoe.
Oh. And he's gonna play with just one
Yes.
shoe on.
Oh, like a Rico Mayhaffer, Akala ko ipang tatapal din niya yun. That was an amazing move, di ba, before.
Speaking of, Rico Marhofer, wala ngayon si Tayshaun.
Yes, wala si Tayshaun.
For San Pedro.
Malaking
Notice
impact
ko,
din sana yun dahil because Tayshaun is a known shooter, di ba?
And a very lengthy defender, much like his father.
Yep.
Gulat ako. Bigla ako napansin. Wala nga si Tayshaun Marhofer dito.
Ito, gusto ko rin itong matchup na ito. Itong Elospa and Flores.
Oh, good steal by Britison. Great steal by CJ there to get away.
And great court vision dito ni MJ Elospa. Yun talaga, yung familiarity nila sa isa't isa, no? Isang kindatan lang, alam mo na yung mangyayari.
There's a long rebound right there for Ding Ding. And I also noticed for LUID 1, outside of CJ Butison, they don't have a pure point guard on their lineup, Coach Pancho.
Right.
Manses, step back three-pointer. Off the mark, Mingilio with a follow.
Right place at the right time for Joshua Mingilio that time. So they need to box out this guy because ang haba nito.
As Liwanag, natapik yung bola. Bright saves it to the wrong man. Ding Ding against Elospa, drops it off to Flores, and Kenny with a layup.
Yeah, finally Kenny Flores scoring a basket right here. Medyo non-factor siya ng first half. Ito si Kenny Flores, maybe because naapektuhan siya sa pagdepensa kila Elospa, kila Sapasap, and even JM Bright.
There's gonna be a holding foul whistled here on Ding Ding. Again, nakikita nila yung matchup dito for Coach Jonathan and Coach Benji. They're seeing ang bumabantay kay Butison is a smaller Albert Ding Ding.